Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. As I heard from many of you in the comments, you guys got money in your account today. Congratulations. I'm glad you got that. And for the people that opted in to get that money, congratulations on getting it. So awesome to see so many people getting money. The Federal Reserve talked today. They had a lot to say. An hour long, probably will bore you to death, but basically rates are going to go up. So if you need to refinance your house, make sure you do it in the spring of next year, a year earlier. They're going to keep the rates at about zero right now, but they're going to rip the Band-Aid off the economy and also taper down on stimulus aid. They started that process of talking about it. Now, as most of you know, the Federal Reserve is responsible for keeping jobs stable. They got to have stable jobs, but also their other, what they're supposed to do is keep pricing reasonable for us. So that's why they're looking at raising interest rates. We got a lot to cover. A bill passed. We've got money we've got a credit card. They raised the limit on it. So we are that credit card is going to be $31.4 trillion. Yep. We'll be able to spend. Single Americans would rather buy a home than pay for a wedding. Survey's fine. This is kind of interesting. Did you toss out your childhood comic books? They could be worth millions of dollars. I hope you haven't done that. Maybe you did. Somebody else made the money. And an Australian man claimed to be Japanese Bitcoin inventor wins $27 billion court case. Yep, a lot shaken out with Bitcoin. The bill that finally passed overnight, the Democrats put their heads together and got it settled on raising the debt ceiling to $31.7 trillion. Even McConnell's gotten a big war now over that. Regardless of whether you've got a Republican support or not, it's gone through. The number they landed on was about $2.5 trillion. What exactly does that mean to us? What does this mean to things to come? Well, we're going to find out. Also, this frees up the time to be squarely focused on stimulus measures, that spending bill, and what could be coming down the pipeline, because now the calendar's kind of cleared. Find out how thousands still have not been received in tax refunds, how New York's unemployment might actually be getting worse, and then finally, the bill that was passed last night. We're going to go more into depth into that and what happened, and also the Federal Reserve, what happened there, and what you can count on moving forward. They're just going to pull the Band-Aid off, pull the rug out from the economy and you? Well, we're going to talk about that. Hey, everybody, it's Andrew Cartwright. Hope you're having a just whimsical, as one person said in the comment, Wednesday. Here's your stimulus, unemployment, jobs report, financial news for daily news for Wednesday, December 15, 2021. My goal is always to give you the best information to access government and private money for yourself, your loved ones, and of course your business. Well, also, we have money that we give away on the channel. So, don't forget to check out my lending platform down below. 12 different programs up to $5 million, 75 banking partners with Capital Velocity. Make sure you grab your money if you need it down there. Also, giving away $2,000. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoy the content we do here. I really appreciate that. Throw a comment in the comment section, and you could win $2,000 when we hit 200,000 subscribers. I'm launching out that money. It could be yours. Remember, this channel is dedicated to personal finance, stock market, stimulus, unemployment, all things that have to do with your money, saving it and making it. So stay tuned to the channel. Also, check out my real estate program. $99 for a $10,000 course. Not many left. Price is going up, folks. So sorry about that, but it is a $10,000 course. We've been giving it to you during some incredible pricing. When to buy, how to buy market cycles, 38 videos, a resource list. Just incredible stuff in real estate. I've spent $45 million learning all this stuff. So you don't have to. For 99 bucks, you bypass the pain. That's what it's all about. And thanks to my patrons who support the channel for as little as $3 a month, but get 20 articles a month, plus a look under the hood of investments and copy my book, lots of goodies. But first, I've seen several of you in the comments saying you still haven't received your tax return money, right? You haven't received your tax return money. According to the American Rescue Plan, federal taxes up to $10,200 and 2020's unemployment benefits should have been waived, should have gotten that money. President Biden himself signed the pandemic relief bill back in March, all the way back in March, so that you could receive this benefit. The IRS has identified 16 million people to date who may qualify for an associated refund on their benefits. So you could miss out on $10,200 if you don't take and handle this. 16 million people of you. The agency has sent more than 11.7 million refunds worth $14.4 billion. As of November, the IRS plans to send another batch of checks by the end of the year, which could be right around the corner right now. In fact, the IRS is contending with the backlog of individual tax returns that they have not been able to get to. Like we covered in the past, there were like just trucks just sitting outside the IRS waiting to be opened. The Bureau had just about 6.7 million unprocessed returns as of December 4th, but they are working on it. They got a lot they've had to cover through the pandemic. According to the IRS, we're working hard to get through the backlog. Please don't file a second return or contact the IRS about the status of your return, end quote. Don't call us, we'll call you. Yes. So, yep, and they won't text you, just so you know. Most unprocessed returns include those with errors or that require, quote, special handling for an IRS employee. In those cases, it may take the IRS up to a typical time frame is about 21 days, folks, to issue related returns. In some instances, they're stretching it between 90 and even as long as 120 days. Right now, we're at a historical record of 9.8 million unprocessed returns because they're backlogged trying to pay people and take care of people. Taxpayers who consult with the IRS website for questions related to the unemployment tax break so that you don't have to, if you haven't received that refund yet, check out this, read the sources, do what you can. Meanwhile, New York is one of the worst in the country when it comes to job recovery during the pandemic. They are just having a tough time. 90% of the job losses have already been recovered throughout the U.S. And in New York, unemployment is double the national average. As you know, I think these numbers are skewed. I don't think they're 100% accurate, but we got to go with what they tell us, right? And then add what we think. And it's getting worse. Many New Yorkers are leaving the workforce for good. It's time to get back to normal before it's too late. New York lost at least 1 million jobs last year. That's thousands of businesses forced to close their doors because there wasn't the people to run the business, right? There wasn't the business to drive the business and hire people. And in New York as a whole was hardly better, with the worst employment deficit in the country. People facing, like you got to be in front of somebody. From Broadway to hotels to retail suffered the most as they depend a lot on tourism. Do you know 95% of the garments in the world used to come out of New York? Now it's only less than 5%. The rate of New York's fleeing the city for good more than tripled on a net during the pandemic. More than tripled. I see you could have bought some property in New York during that time for a pretty decent deal, actually. Still, it looks like the city's bouncing back slowly but surely. According to Jerome Powell today, it's already settled. The Federal Reserve, like everything's okay. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. Everything's back to normal. We're going to raise rates and everything's going to be fine. Well, we'll see. But he is concerned about cyber attacks. That's one of the things he talked about. But stimulus, he's talking about cutting back in March, June, right around there. He's going to start slowing or influencing the government not to send us money. Renters are already back to the pre-pandemic levels, though. Foot traffic is still low, among the lowest of the big city here and abroad, while subway ridership is a fraction of what it once was. Can you imagine? They're a fraction of it. So are people walking, or a lot of people just working from home? There's a bit of a divide between rich New Yorkers and poor New Yorkers, and it's only getting worse with the pandemic. As we know, inequality is rampant in this country and getting worse. Essentially, workers provided non-essentials to keep tax rolling afloat, and the city acting accordingly, taxing and masking them while knowledgeable workers, flourish, right? People who are actually able to make some decent money over there are doing incredible. The ones that aren't, they're having a tough time. So what are your thoughts about the unemployment situation in New York and also in your neck of the woods? Do you think we're all stable, 4.2%, everything's fine? Jerome Powell raised rates, cut off the Band-Aid, and let the economy just go back to normal? Or do you think we still have long ways of fixing these problems? I want to know what you guys think. Finally, let's talk about the new bill that was signed overnight, right? Got done, went through the Senate, which we talked about, got through the House, all done now, late Tuesday night. The House voted to raise the debt ceiling by another $2.5 trillion to move that. Should stave off any first ever default, and they didn't have to do it through reconciliation. The vote was 221 to 209. This had already gone through the Senate. Both the Senate and the House voted to raise the debt limit. Yep, raise the credit card limit. One Republican, Rep. Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, joined them. crossed the line, crossed the party line. The Senate cleared the vote early Tuesday with a 0 GOP support, none. Although I know he made a deal, Mitch McConnell, with Schumer because Trump's all pissed off about it. So something happened there. Even though Republicans and Democrats couldn't see eye to eye on this, both parties acknowledged that the necessity for raising the debt limit. Republicans argued that the Democrats ought to raise the limit on their own because they want to go into the election in 2022 and use this to say that they screwed everything up. So it's weird. Wrongly claiming that needed to offset the cost of Biden's yet to be passed $1.75 trillion social and spending bill, not to be confused with the infrastructure bill. Democrats who helped raise the debt limit multiple times under the Trump administration insist it was bipartisan effort since the debt limit had been raised to cover past spending. Well, I don't think the Republicans owned every house either, so they had to get bipartisan support. Today, you could just have all Democrat, no problem. After Biden signed it, we'll have prevented a massive default that could have halted Social Security, SSI, veteran payments, hiked interest rates on mortgages and loans, and disrupted the global economy. So this concerned all of us. Saw some of the bearishness, saw the markets go down a little bit, kind of creeped out by the fact that if they didn't get it together, it'd be a problem. All in all, though, even though raising the debt ceiling doesn't sound like the most attractive thing you've ever heard, and maybe it doesn't put money in your pocket, but it does put money in your economy. It's a major bittersweet victory, of course, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Also, the PUA is still closed. If you're owed back PUA benefits, make sure you keep vigilant, keep getting those. If you have it backlogged, also, if you're going for unemployment, you got 26 or 27 weeks that you can go ahead and file for that. The federal level boosts are gone. We don't know if they'll come back with the new virus variant. We don't know what's going to happen. But stay vigilant, and you should get the support that you need on the unemployment for at least 26, 27 weeks if you're just doing it. And also those states who've changed the law that if it was because of the virus or safety concerns at work, you can still collect it. But check your individual state to make sure that that's the case. Love you. Thank you for watching. Love you. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. As I heard from many of you in the comments, you guys got money in your account today. Congratulations. I'm glad you got that. And for the people that opted in to get that money, congratulations on getting it. It's so awesome to see so many people getting money. The Federal Reserve talked today. They had a lot to say. An hour long, probably will bore you to death, but basically rates are going to go up. So if you need to refinance your house, make sure you do it in the spring of next year, a year earlier. They're going to keep the rates at about 0 right now, but they're going to rip the Band-Aid off the economy and also taper down on stimulus aid. They started that process of talking about it. Now, as most of you know, the Federal Reserve is responsible for keeping jobs stable. They got to have stable jobs, but also their other, what they're supposed to do is keep pricing reasonable for us. So that's why they're looking at raising interest rates. We got a lot to cover. A bill passed. We've got money that we've got a credit card. They raised the limit on it. So we are like, that credit card is going to be $31.4 trillion. Yep. We'll be able to spend. Single Americans would rather